All right. Hello. Hey, y'all. We got ourselves another bada boom, bada bing, but this one was decided on a poll from you guys. Okay? I do like that method. I think we're going to follow that method because we watch a lot of bada boom, bada bings, and sometimes it's like, yo, I don't know what I should watch. So, of course, I want to, ask you guys, what would you like to see? And this is one of them. So, the title is 500 Teens Trapped on an Island with a Madman That's Hunting Them. I don't know what in the Lord of the Flies is going on, but let's see. This is about to be nuts. Why does this always happen? I always forget. I always forget, like, that I did this. This video is brought to you by Sebastian's Patreon. Not only is this page packed with exclusive videos, 800 plus at the time of this recording to be exact, but it also comes with a couple tiers. If you'd want to subscribe and support this growing community, click the link in the description below, and thank you for everything. Now, let's get back to the video.
Bada bing, bada boop.
Bang.
The summer sleepaway camp for youths is held on the island of Utøya every single year for the past 61 years without fail. Kids, typically around the ages of 14 and 20 years old, they're going to gather for this multiple night stay on this heart-shaped island. And I say island, but don't picture like a tropical getaway destination. It feels more like camping. It's got that
Yo, that picture of that island, bro. Maybe I am afraid of water. Bro, that's a lot of blue around that thing. Oh my goodness, that is scary. Yo. Oh.
I say island, but don't picture like a tropical getaway destination. It feels more like camping. It's got that stereotypical summer camp setting in the middle of the woods, tall green pine trees, bonfires, the dirt pathways that connect the campgrounds to the very few buildings that are on this island. You don't really even have many bathrooms. You just have what they call the sanitation building, which is like this giant communal bathroom where every single morning you see all these little teenagers come out of their campgrounds. So whether it's a little camping house or a little tent, they have their toothbrush in hand, ready to go to the bathrooms and brush their teeth.
That does sound kind of fun.
During the summers, it's always raining, or it's like drizzling. So you hear that tit on the tents. And you likely need 3 bottles of mosquito spray on you at all times. It's not bright and sunny all the time. Now, the island itself is relatively small. It's about 26 acres, which, to give you a comparison, a visual comparison, that's about 2 massive stadiums combined. The Yankee Stadium, for example, is a good comparison, 2 of those combined. Or 15 football fields connected to each other. I mean, okay, it's not small, but it's not large, especially during the camp session when almost 600 teenagers are on the island. The teenagers are there, the adults
Bro, that look bigger than 2 Yankee stadiums.
organizing the whole camp. The camp counselors, guest speakers that come and talk to the teenagers are there. And there's a lot of action going on. But these teenagers, they've got energy. Even after a full day, jam-packed itinerary, they're like, we got to play some games at night. They would have these little dance parties. This is a time where Justin Bieber's Baby was the hit song.
2009?
A row of tents, and more often than not, that song is playing on repeat in like at least half of the tents.
Yo.
Or if you sneak out of your tent after a lights out time, you might stumble upon 2 teenagers just groping each other on what they call the lover's path. That's what they call it. It's literally this grassy path where at some parts the grass is really tall. So if you were to lay down on the grass, it would cover your body. I mean, I guess for that reason, teenagers are like, this is a great idea to just make out in the grass and not be seen. But, like, not really, because it's called the lover's path. So the odds of running into another couple that has the same exact idea as you is probably high. But when they're not trying to make out, the campgoers would come up with very unique ways to stay excited. They made Wednesday a speed dating night. Thursdays were for karaoke, and they would constantly play games with just a big group of students. Charades, tag, hide and seek, just with each other up and down this hilly island. Wait, be careful. That leads to the edge of the island. So most of the island would have cliff-like drops into the water. So like I said, it's not really a beach where you have all that sand that gently goes into the water. It's like a drop. And there's jagged rocks. So yes, summer camp is about the games that you play. And right now, there's a group of 11 teenagers laying down on the grass on the lover's path.
Okay.
Here, right here. Shh. Just lie down and pretend like we're dead. Lie down kind of in like a strange position so it looks like we're dead. Hurry.
Oh, hell no.
They all start throwing their bodies awkwardly on the ground. I mean, they're almost kind of piled up on each other with their limbs just tangled. I mean, it's very uncomfortable. It's the type of position to at least give you one of those aching leg cramps that makes you want to cry. It's very weird. Now, if a single one of them moves, sneezes, coughs, or maybe they forgot to silence their phone and it goes off,
bro,
their cover would be blown.
I'm not gonna lie. If I'm trying to hide from someone that's like killing us, and I'm hiding with someone who it is not quiet, or their phone goes off, like imagine you trying to be quiet, hiding from somebody. If you don't hide, you're dead. And their phone goes off, and it's that ear piercing iPhone sound. Oh, I might kill you before they kill us. I'm not gonna lie, cause what the hell, bro? Like why?
It's a tense situation because at that point, it's not even about you. It's about you blowing the cover for 10 of your friends. I mean, the stakes are really high.
Also, I'm not hiding with other people. I'm not doing that because if one of them, that's a probability of, like someone doing some dumb stuff and then everybody's cover's blown. Like, dog.
One of the 11 whispers, "It'll be fine, okay?
Shut up.
Just stay like this."
Shut up.
They can all feel the raindrops hitting their face, just big droplets of water, but they're not even flinching in the slightest. They're using all their energy to breathe in as little air as possible.
Bro.
Because if we're both laying in the grass, your arm is on top of my waist and someone else's leg is on top of you, every single time I breathe, your arm, that person's leg, is going to go up and then it's going to go down.
Oh.
None of them really know how long
goodness.
they're supposed to be hiding like that. I mean, I guess when the whole thing is over, right?
What?
But when is that?
I don't know.
They're starting to get angsty. Shh.
Shut up.
They hear footsteps.
Oh, shit.
The footsteps are heavy, but not fast. It's almost like a marching noise. Heavy boots on the ground.
What the hell?
One step at a time, not rushing. Whoever this is, it's interesting. They're not hiding and they're not playing dead.
Uh-huh.
The group of 11, they're holding their breaths while they hear the foot snapping the branches and twigs on the moist mud ground, and it sounds like it's getting closer. I mean, they could have sworn that snap sounded like it was right next to them. One of the 11 lifts their head and looks up. They see a guy, maybe early 30s.
Now, why the fuck would you do that?
Blonde hair, blue eyes, staring straight at them. His face is empty. He doesn't even look confused. Like, why are there 11 teenagers just laying in the grass like that? He just looks like he's analyzing the situation. He slowly raises his hand.
What the fuck?
And in his hand, there is a gun.
Oh, shit.
And he shoots.
Why did you lift your... Like, did you have to see? Like, for real?
He fires over and over into the human pile on the grass. If one wasn't shot yet, they were underneath friends who had been shot, and their blood was soaking into them now.
Oh my gosh.
One boy kept begging the rest of the group, "I'm dying. Please help me. I think I'm dying."
Oh my gosh.
Nobody could help him. They're all dying too.
What the fuck is...
Out of the 11, only one would survive. 10 from that group would die.
Yo. I don't know how Stephanie finds these stories, but it's like all these stories get so intricate every time. Like, what the fuck?
But another 59 from the island, mainly teenagers, will also be killed in the next hour.
59? Yo, they better not have this place open for business at all. Cause what the fuck? Oh my goodness, dude. This is 59 kids.
I'd like to thank today's sponsors who have made it possible for Rotten Mango to support the Child Advocacy Network. They provide collaborative intervention services to child abuse victims and encourage them to embrace a future driven by hope.
That's tough.
This episode's partnerships have also made it possible to support Rotten Mango's growing team of dedicated researchers and translators. And we would also like to thank you guys for your continued support as we work on our mission to be worthy advocates of these causes. Now, as always, full show notes are available at rottenmangopodcast.com. There is a documentary out on this case that was quite insightful. There is a ton of articles and written deep dives, but probably the most invaluable source for today's episode is a book on this case titled One of Us, the story of Anders Breivik, written by Asni Saarstad. She is this incredibly talented investigative journalist that has won numerous awards for her focus on young women's stories, typically in war-torn countries. She poured through the court documents, worked directly with the survivors, victims' families, and she was dedicated to unpacking every single layer of this really twisted, really sick story.
Shout out to her.
The book is incredibly well written.
And journalism.
By well written, I mean just like gut-wrenchingly painful to get through because of how emotional it gets and how raw it is. And additionally, we did most of our research with Norwegian or Swedish articles. So as always with international cases, please let us know in the comments if there was anything lost in translation, miscommunicated, or any additional information that you might have. One big disclaimer, today's case involves a lot of heavy subjects that I think can inevitably turn very political very quickly. There are references to domestic terrorism, racism, Islamophobia, political opinions between who the perpetrator views as a conservative or a liberal. I know, it's a lot. Please view this at your own discretion and prioritize your health and your peace. So with that being said, let's get into it.
That's a lot.
Have you ever heard of the Eye of Providence? I mean, maybe you haven't heard of the term, but the minute that I describe it, you're going to be like, oh my God, why does that sound so familiar? Where have I seen that? I feel like I see that all the time. It is a very realistic eye inside of a triangle, and usually it has rays of light just beaming out of this triangle. It looks like this eye inside the triangle is glowing.
Like Illuminati sign?
Yes, I mean Illuminati, right? But where do you see it all
on
the
a
time?
dollar.
Like, you don't go to hang out with Illuminati people or
on a
Illuminati
dollar.
clubs. So where would you see this?
Illuminati dollar.
Because you see it all the time.
I don't think I see it all the time, do I?
Yes.
It's on the back of a $1 bill.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
USD, of course. Now,
Yeah.
technically, to a lot of people, the eye is supposed to represent the all-seeing eye of God. It's a symbol of divine providence, meaning the creator is watching over man and all of man's deeds. A reminder for a man to be humble and that there is a higher being. Like, it's a reminder. But others say, no, it's just creepy. It's a conspiracy. It's Big Brother. They're watching us. That's what that means.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I try to not like think about that when I look at cash because that does like trip me out. I'm not gonna hold you. I be seeing that triangle in that eye everywhere, and I'm not even talking about with dollars. Like it's just it really be feeling like a all-seeing eye sometimes.
Look, I don't know how deep you look into it, but it could be the Illuminati. It could be a design choice for the banknote, or it could also represent one of the oldest secret societies, the Freemasons.
Yeah.
They are one of the most mysterious secret societies out there. They've been around for hundreds of years. Some people argue since early 18th century. I mean, technically, it's a fraternity, but for like non-college students. It's a male fraternity where men from qualifying industries with qualifying levels of skill, income, pedigree, background, they are interviewed, because you can't just join, and they network and focus on charity. But because not everyone can join, typically they run on a to be one, ask one system. Meaning to be a Freemason, you have to know a Freemason and ask them to sponsor you. Ask them to put your name in to be casted to even be considered to join the Freemasons.
Are they still around?
Yes. Hell yeah.
Now, if you pass that stage, the Freemasons will investigate you. They will look into your background, interview you, make sure that you're a good fit, and most of the time, you do have to be voted in. Ooh. And just because you get in doesn't mean you've got the status and the power all of a sudden. Even in the Freemasons, there's a seemingly endless degree system.
What?
Because Freemasons are all about growth and journeying to become a better man.
Right.
Allegedly, when a man joins the Freemasons, they have a series of oaths that they need to take. And one of them is protecting the secrets of the order. Breaking the secret, breaking the trust of the Freemasons is seen as a grave offense. There's rituals, ceremonies, allegedly, symbols with meanings, all of which, allegedly, according to slightly conspiratorial online Redditors, are all kept a secret for a reason. I mean, why? Like, if there's nothing to hide, why would you have all these secrets? So naturally, there's a lot of conspiracy theories that come out of Freemasonry. Some believe the connection between the symbols like the Eye of Providence and the secrecy of the Freemasons, that they're performing rituals, bloody rituals. They're sacrificing animals. They're sacrificing humans. What else would they be doing? Because there's this running theory since the beginning of, I don't even know how long, probably since the beginning of the Freemasons. The Freemasons are a network of the most influential, powerful people that are pulling all the strings on a global scale. They're the people running this world. You think it's the presidents? No.
I low-key think it's some, like, it could be a group that's higher. And the Freemasons are just like a front. Not really a front, but it's like, remember when everybody found out that, like, the president of the United States really don't got that much power. He's just a face. For real. Like, that's what I'm thinking. Because I don't know. I know there's supposed to be like a divine law of everything is supposed to be like exposed. But I just think like there's always a bigger fish. And that's a big fish right there. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's way above my pay grade, and I'm not that conspiratorial. I'm not that yep.
It's not. Well, maybe it is.
Man.
Because there were 15 U.S. presidents who were Freemasons.
Oh,
15.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
So people are saying, think about it. The Eye of Providence is their symbol, or at least it's one of their symbols, and it's on the $1 bill. What if they got it on the bill to show everyone just how powerful they are? That's the real influence, and just all the decisions are in their hands. All Anders wanted was to get into the Freemasons. And once he got in, he could carry out the rest of his plan. Kill as many kids at the summer camp as possible.
Why? Why? Like, why? Literally, what do you gain from this? The fuck?
That was his plan. It was kind of a weird gift to get someone, you know, a vibrator. Yeah.
Nigga, what?
Okay,
this is a lot going on here. Stephanie, yo.
A woman who gets a vibrator as a gift. Now, conveniently, this is after she mentions to this guy in passing that she and her boyfriend broke up. I mean, what kind of message is he trying to send her by getting her a vibrator? How is she even supposed to react to that?
Yeah,
and then to make matters worse, every time he saw her after he gifted her that, he kept asking, did you use it yet?
Nah, whoever doing that is a freak. Freaky ass nigga. Oh, ew.
It was just a lot. I mean, what is she going to say? She's starting to feel alarmed about the whole thing.
You feel alarmed if a nigga that you don't know or not really like intimate with or not even comfortable talking about that gives you a damn vibrator. Like, nigga, no, I'm not using that shit. It's probably cursed. Why'd you give me this? It's not even my birthday. The fuck?
He'd always kind of been like that. She'd known him for a while.
Oh.
Sometimes they would sleep in the same bed, and he would just press his body up against her, clinging onto her so tight that she felt like she couldn't breathe, like she was going to go claustrophobic.
Oh.
Even if she tried to inch away from him, he would just inch closer and closer and closer to her. And it always felt like any minute now, he's going to force himself on her. Like he was trying to, you know.
Oh.
It's just a very uncomfortable situation.
Oh, my goodness.
Because a son shouldn't do that to his mother.
What the fuck? Dog, what is it? What's going on?
What kind of son gives his mom a vibrator?
How old is the son?
God, you asking the wrong question.
20s.
And they still sleep together?
Sometimes he would crawl in her bed. Now, if you want to people watch, the best place is at a red light.
You keep jumping around. She keeps jumping around topics. What is this? Oh my gosh. How we go from Freemasons to Oedipus complex? I don't understand. What the fuck is going on?
I'm serious. Okay, I think humans have yet to evolve to realize that sitting in your car does not make you invisible. Even if your windows are tinted, chances are that people can peer directly into your car and see you knuckle deep into your nostril, picking your nose. Even just people watching and looking at the car next to you at a red light, you can usually tell if that person is in a rush or not. Are they tapping on the steering wheel, but in this erratic way that you just know that they're not tapping along to the beat of the music, but they're late for work, so they're anxious? But also, if you're in Oslo, Norway, July 22nd, 2011, there would be a lot of time for you to people watch because is jam-packed. The only thing you can do is listen to music or just glance around and see if you can write everybody's backstory because the traffic is bad. You're not going anywhere.
Damn.
And that one was weird. There was a Fiat on the road, a small little Fiat, and inside of it is a police officer who looks incredibly tense. He's wearing a full body armor, black armor, one of those police outfits.
Right.
He's wearing an all black riot helmet, and he's carrying a pistol in plain sight that's just laying on his passenger seat.
The fuck?
I mean, normally that's not how he or any police officer would dress or handle themselves. But July 22nd, 2011 was a very different kind of day.
Okay.
Nothing was going according to plan. Nothing was normal that day.
What do you mean?
That morning in Oslo, Norway, a white windowless van had parked right in front of a government building in the center of the capital city.
Okay.
And that white car would explode. There was a bomb inside.
What in the fuck? What?
The building, the government building, it looks like a pressure cooker that exploded. There's footage from an angle of the bomb going off, and the building is still standing afterwards.
Holy
it does not collapse. But it's kind of like when you play Jenga. You take out a full layer, and the whole building goes up and then falls down. It's still standing, but I highly doubt it's structurally sound.
Hell?
The inside has been torpedoed. Some floors have fallen into each other. The glass on the windows have blown outward.
How powerful is this bomb?
Completely shattered. Even the metal, steel, and wood window frames, they've snapped.
Oh my
goodness. They snap like when you snap wooden chopsticks. There's jagged end pieces, and they just go flying across the street. They slam into the building, across, onto the cars, onto pedestrians. The AC unit on this government roof is blown off, and it just goes flying in the air.
What the
There's debris and roof parts and construction parts everywhere. There's smoke coming out from that government building, and it looks like all the civilians had woken up in the middle of the night, came out, and looted the entire city. That's what it looks like. There's just dust. There's chaos all over the streets. When you look into that government building, the insides look completely charred.
Right.
And you could have heard that explosion from 50 miles away from the center.
What type of bomb
but soon
is that?
Everyone in Norway, and honestly, globally, would know about this bomb. It was, first of all, a massive bomb. The bomb itself weighed more than a ton. That's about the weight of a small elephant or a hippopotamus.
How did you transport that into this? What the fuck is going on?
What?
And it was homemade.
A homemade bomb that's a ton. Whoever did that must not have a job, because first off, that is insane. You gotta have a lot of time on your hands, and you gotta be pissed at something. You have to be ultimately pissed that literally you're still pissed going through this thing. Why? Like, why? What the hell?
To give you a better visual context, maybe you see this more often. You know those bulldozers that you have a singular person on construction sites working?
Yeah.
That's about that size.
But
a bomb. Well, in weight, at least.
Oh.
Now, the fuse had a burn time of slightly over 7 minutes, which means, 1, whoever did this, they put a lot of thought into their plan to escape.
Right.
And 2, they could be anywhere at this point. The entire street is just littered with shrapnel. Every construction piece of a building is on the ground. They were going flying like bullets. There was a woman found with a foot-long wooden stake impaling her skull. Part of a window frame from the 10th floor office building had broken off, flew high speed at her head. She survived.
What?
The first people at the scene, police officers, even journalists, they all said they kept waiting for someone to scream. And cut. They said it looked like a movie scene. They thought a director would come out and say, "Just kidding, guys. I'm sorry I didn't let the city know. This is all fake."
Sorry, I didn't let the city know. I just caused millions of dollars in damage.
because it looked like an apocalyptic scene.
Dog.
But that call never came.
Shit.
Later, investigators would go up to the rooftops of the buildings, and these are not short buildings either. These are like 10 stories, multiple dozens of stories, if not taller, and they would find human remains up on the roof.
Oh my gosh.
The blast had been so strong, some of the victims were blown to pieces and their body parts went flying.
What the fuck?
Wow.
One
my
victim who was
gosh.
walking into the government building, the only thing left of his body was his hand that had landed on the ground, and on his ring finger was his wedding ring.
Bro, rest in peace to these people.
The
what
bomb
the fuck is
killed
wrong?
8 people,
Oh
but
my
by the end of the
gosh.
day, 69 people would be dead, most of them teenagers.
Huh?
Officer Martin is now sitting in traffic in his full police uniform, his riot helmet on his passenger seat, and he's got to hurry before all hell breaks loose. Once news of this explosion gets out, everyone's going to get in their cars and start driving. They're going to drive out to family members that live on the countryside just to feel safer. They're going to drive to the airport, which they just don't want to feel like a target. They don't know what's going on. Norway feels like it's under attack right now. Is this a terrorist attack? Who is attacking them? There's rumors that it's Al-Qaeda. It's a terrorist organization. They're rushing to go pick up their loved ones and make sure they're not out and about. It's about to be even crazier. It's already standstill traffic.
Dog.
I mean, the
That's
drive
what
was supposed to be
it's
very quick, much quicker, but it would take him a full hour to get to the island. Officer Martin is doing his best to weave through traffic, to move faster and quicker, but time is of the essence.
I don't know about you, but him walking down the street in that shit, and he's just like walking as if like he's just walking. Like he got a costume on and he's trying to go somewhere.
And it's interesting that none of the other officers have set up those roadblocks. Why not? What is everybody doing? At this rate, whoever set off the bomb is probably on their way out of Oslo and headed to their next destination, and who knows what they're capable of when they get there. Once the police officer gets to the docks, he demands that a ferry come get him and take him to the island right now. It was the police department higher-ups' orders. They're going to station police officers everywhere around the city, and the island needs to be contained. They're going to go into full lockdown mode. There's going to be 2 other officers that are going to be assisting. They're going to need to be picked up by the ferry. We got to go. Stat. The ferry comes to pick up the officer, but the captain is a little agitated. How come I wasn't made aware of this? I mean, man, it's complete chaos in Oslo right now. What do you mean? The policeman gets on the ferry with a briefcase and a rifle. The captain of the ferry is stressed. I mean, there are children on the island. They're going to be very stressed out. They're going to be panicking if they see a rifle. I don't think any of them have even seen a weapon in real life. It was agreed that he would keep it hidden. But also, why are the police so adamant on securing the island? I mean, it seems like the least likely place to be attacked next. Because if you're thinking about a terrorist organization, wouldn't they go for metropolitan areas, massive buildings with lots of people housed inside?
But I mean, I guess. I don't know. I don't really want to look into the psyche of someone who does shit like that, but I'm still fucked up about that bomb, dude.
Well, the building attacked by the bomb was the Labor Party building.
The Labor Party.
Okay, it's a government building, so think of it as, I guess, like the White House, right? The Prime Minister, his office is in there. The people in power right now in Norway is the Labor Party. They're like the Democrats, if you will. And right now on the island is a Labor Party youth gathering summer camp. The island is owned by the Labor Party, and every single summer the Labor Party Youth League has a massive summer seminar. The former Prime Minister had just been on that island like a few hours ago.
Hey, bro, I'm not going to lie. Somehow, some way, this shit is connected. What is up with this nigga, bro?
To speak with the youth, the future Labor Party members. And they were all, almost 600 of them, were trapped on an inescapable cliff-like island. So yeah, police are going to have people stationed there.
This is crazy.
When he gets on the ferry, the captain asks him for his name. Officer Martin Nilsson? Maybe the captain of the ferry felt safer, knowing that a police officer was going to be on the island. That way, they would know that the kids are actually going to be safe.
Really?
Maybe in the hectic chaos of things, there was almost a moment of relief, maybe. But there shouldn't have been. Because if they had all just looked a little bit closer, they might have realized this man's police uniform
looks terrible.
Was fake.
Oh.
This was a fake police officer with a rifle and a briefcase filled with bullets. He had set off the bomb in Oslo, and he was now making his way to an island full of teenagers.
Dog.
Which just leaves one question.
No, I got one question. How would y'all feel if y'all were the ferry captain and you ain't know and then you realized that you just transported this crazy motherfucker. I don't think I could live with myself. Because what?
What was this fake cop's plan for the island? The couple are staring at each other because the whole thing just feels illegal. I mean, there's no way this is real life. Is this some sort of test by the foster care system? The dad talks first. Excuse me? Anders' mom is just staring at them, deadpan. Yes, like I was saying, could you please just let my son touch your private parts on the weekends?
What?
Wait. Let my son touch your private part?
Yeah. These are potential foster parents. And the biological mom is saying, hey, can you take my son with you on the weekends? But also, please let him touch your wee-wee.
What?
I mean, this
Girl, no. What?
cannot be real right now. Anders is 2 years old when his mom applies for him to be assigned weekend parents. So in Norway, they do things a little bit differently, but it's kind of like temporary foster care. Just foster care on the weekends. Anders' mom could prove that she did not have the capabilities to care for her children on the weekends without the help of the public schools. She doesn't have the resources nor the time. So she's paired with this nice newlywed couple that could take her son Anders on the weekends and just do normal childhood activities with him. Take him to the zoo. Go buy him some books, help him with his development.
Buy him some
but
books.
first, they needed to have a few meetings with Anders and his mom. So the first time the couple meet Anders, the little boy, and the mom, they think the mom is weird. The mom is strange, you know? She's just kind of off. She just didn't seem all the way there. The second time they meet, though, they thought she had lost her marbles. They thought she was absolutely bonkers. That's when she asked if her son, Anders, could touch the foster's dad's, you know. Her argument was, well, he has no father figure in his life, and he only sees girls' crotches in the house, and he...
So what is that? That has nothing to do with nothing. First off, why, I don't know. This is y'all house. I don't even know what to say to that. Secondly, why are you requesting this? No. The fuck?
He doesn't know how the male body works.
Google. He can Google it. Like, you teach him. Teach him. Aren't you the mom? Teach him of these things. If he's not learning in school, teach him. The fuck?
The young couple was just speechless. But she just argued again. It's nothing weird. I'm just worried that he's suffering from not having a father figure.
So you're gonna have him just start touching meats on the weekends. This is weird. I don't feel right. This is weird.
Therefore, you should let him touch
your wee-wee. Yeah.
No.
She was very anxious that Anders was going to grow up weird without her dad. Because Anders' parents, they divorced when he was only 6 months old. And his mom argued he had no father figure his entire life and he's turning out weird. Now, to be more accurate, I don't think Anders really had any parental figures in his life.
Yeah,
Anders' dad was a diplomat who was divorced with 3 kids from a previous marriage. And Anders' mom was this nurse, 11 years younger than the diplomat. They actually met in the dark, not-so-romantic, dingy laundry room of their apartment complex. Quickly, they get pregnant,
Romantic,
so a lot of chemistry there. And Anders is now in his mom's belly. And from the get-go, not a good plan. This whole thing was a giant red flag. Even Anders' mom knows it's a red flag. The dad, he's not a loving dad. He already had 3 kids from a previous marriage, and anytime the 3 kids come to visit him, he would just shut them out of his head. He wasn't abusive, but he was definitely neglectful at best, in my personal opinion.
That's abuse
He's
too.
Someone that does not seem to care for children at all.
So
Anders' mom, she went back and forth about whether or not she wanted to terminate the pregnancy. Do I terminate? Do I not? Do I do this? Do I do not? I mean, there were so many glaring red flags, but at the end of the day, like, this is her baby, right? By the time that she made up her mind, she wanted to terminate. Termination was made illegal. She could do nothing but have this child, and she hated this child for that very reason. She's like, this child in my stomach is a parasite. She felt like this baby was absorbing all the nutrients, growing, kicking her stomach so hard to the point where it feels like it's on purpose, where it feels like it's personal. While every day she grows weaker, more nauseous, less attractive. She's aging every single day, and the parasite just keeps getting stronger and stronger.
Yo, this is an insane description. My goodness gracious.
She said, it's almost as if he kicks me on purpose to torment me. And you know how some people are just like, no, just wait. The baby's going to come out and you're going to fall in love head over heels for your child. Just you wait. Maybe that's what Anders' mom was told by her friends. But the minute that Anders came out of her, she felt like something was wrong with him. She thought all those pain meds that I was given during birth, because I was in so much pain, it messed him up somehow. I don't know how to point it, but something's wrong with this boy.
Okay.
Regardless, when Anders was about 6 months old, his parents get a divorce and he went with his mom.
Fuck.
I mean, not that he had a choice and not that his dad fought for him. And from then on, it would just be his mom, his older half-sister, Elizabeth, from his mom's previous relationship, and Anders, and whichever boyfriend Anders' mom had at the time. Now, maybe Anders was too young to know how many boyfriends his mom had at the moment, but the neighbors weren't. I mean, they probably had a blast keeping a tally of all the new ones that would show up at her door while her kids were home. Can you believe it?
Hey.
You know, she leaves her kids at night, and then she goes out to do God knows what with God knows which man, and then doesn't come back until the morning. They're not even old enough to be left alone during the night.
Bro, if you're not going to be a fucking parent, don't have children, dude. Like, it should be so simple. Why are you leaving your kids to go just get some dick or do whatever you're doing? Gosh, dude, the fuck.
And the saddest part is their mom is so focused on her sex life that she doesn't even care that the children are starving.
Dog.
I know. Most kids I talked to, they said they went over to hang out with Elizabeth.
Girl, how are you this horny? How are you this horny? You can't even see that your children are starving.
The half-sister, and they would come back home starving, and they would report to their parents they don't eat dinner at Elizabeth's. Dinner's not a thing there.
What?
Yeah. But the sex life thing was very alarming. I mean, if you're the family's neighbor and you happen to be trying to...
No. Hold on. Stop. What do you mean dinner's not a thing? What does that mean? Why is dinner not a thing? What do y'all do?
Get into your apartment at the exact same time that the mom is trying to get into the apartment, you'd probably be freaking out because she will keep you in that hallway for hours trying to talk to you about anything that comes to her mind. And apparently the only thing that comes to her mind is aggressive sex. Yeah, it was described by many people as being incredibly aggressive conversations about sex.
Aggressive sex? Oh, gosh.
That's all she could talk about.
That's a threat. I'm not going to hold you. You just talking to somebody about aggressive fucking... and they don't want to have that conversation, that is sexual harassment.
In front of her own children. Elizabeth is maybe 10 at this point. Anders is 4.
Mommy's
Elizabeth
a freak.
was like the mom of the family. She would find an excuse for the neighbor to take just so that they could run away from their mom. She knew that her mom was a mess. She'd be like, Mom, don't we have to go put these in the freezer before they defrost?
Nah, fuck that. I'm finna go get some wood from Charlie.
Come on, Mom, we gotta go inside.
Nah, Charlie finna go inside. Fuck you and your food. Like... I'm just, what the hell? A lot of the neighbors, the teachers, they all reported something odd was going on in that house. Social Services and the Center for Child and Adolescent Psychiatry ends up investigating multiple times. Finally.
And Anders' mom is just... she's not doing really well. I mean, she clearly suffers from intense, untreated mental illnesses, but it's also just progressively getting worse. Child Services noted on numerous different occasions, mother seems severely depressed. She states she is thinking of just walking out on the children to go live her own life. She describes herself as being, quote, a nervous wreck. But at the same time, she blames all of her problems on Anders. She said that he was uncontrollable. He would have these temper tantrums for the smallest thing, according to his mom at least, would push around his older half-sister and even his mom. Bro, fight back. Stand up. Like, what are you talking about? Why are we blaming the kid? Why can't we blame the person that impregnated you and just fucking left? Like, what the hell? She said that he was so angry. His punches were painful. And if they ever tried to shake some sense into him, literally, they would shake him. Like, what are you doing? Stop it. His mom claims that he would just smile and then shout in her face, it doesn't hurt. All right, see, this would get me mad. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to hold you. It doesn't hurt. Just to taunt her, just to drive her nuts. She said clearly something is very wrong with this boy. He doesn't like to play with the other kids. He never does any pretend play, which is a big red flag in children's development. Really? So you know how kids pretend to be a princess, a butterfly? Yeah. Mm-hmm. If you don't do that, it is a little worrisome. It's a huge part of how they develop their brains. Shit. Interesting. Yeah. Now, he never interacts with other kids. He just likes to stand on the side and observe, even at playgrounds. Okay. Even if he hurt himself very badly physically, if he tripped on cement and got a crazy road rash, he wouldn't cry. He would just stare at it. And that is bizarre.
Wait. Well, hold on. I used to do that too. Hold on. Wait, no, don't say that. It's not that bizarre. The shit don't be hurting like that to be crying. Like, I remember when I accidentally like fell on a bike and there was like a big ass hole on my knee. I ain't cry. I was just looking at that shit because I also tried to hide it from my grandma because she told me not to ride the bike, and I did. I didn't want her to see I didn't want her to see me in pain or see the thing and say, "I told you so." But nah, ain't nothing wrong with staring at some wounds. It ain't that bizarre.
Anders' own mom described him as clingy, difficult, demands a lot of attention, and aggressive and nasty. Anders' mom would keep asking doctors if there was anything at all that they could diagnose Anders with so that she could get him on meds to help, with everything. AKA, she wants to stomp out his personality with medication because she thinks that he's too much.
Right.
So specialists decide that they're going to come in to observe and watch Anders to see if he's got any of these traits that his mom is talking about. And they get the exact opposite. I mean, I think they even had to check their files to make sure that they're at the right place with the right kid.
What?
He just seemed over life. As a toddler, he took no pleasure in toys. He was not curious. He does not care to do anything physical or use his imagination. He just seemed emotionless, expressionless for the most part.
Question. I don't know nothing about like child psychology and stuff, but isn't like, and please excuse my ignorance, isn't like the mom's mental state and physical state a very, very important thing in terms of like pregnancy and stuff like that? Like, isn't that a thing?
He also was incredibly clean and tidy. He would actually have an outburst when he can't control how clean and tidy his environment is. But the good thing is, the doctors observed that once they changed his environment and got him to adapt to a new setting that was a lot more kid-friendly, he started slowly exhibiting more childish traits, which is like being curious, wanting to play, doing pretend play.
Right.
So they concluded that his psychological state and damage was done by the environment and probably his mom.
Yeah,
and as
probably.
of right now, it could be reversed. It could be. So if we can get him into foster care, it's going to be a good time.
Okay.
They noted that the mom was very, very abusive, in a sense, verbally abusive with her son. One second she would be so pleasant and kind with him, and then the next second she would scream at the top of her lungs, "I wish you were just dead."
Oh my gosh. And you got the nerve to say my child is a demon? Girl, what the fuck?
They said that on one hand, the psychiatrist and the specialist believed that his mom had a very complicated viewpoint of men and projected that onto her own son.
Hey, listen, don't do that, please. Don't do that. Don't do that. I'm gonna be honest with you, this may be a little unpopular, but just because men are treating you like shit and are doing bad to you, don't take your frustration out of the man that came out of your body. Please. That is not, your child is not a punching bag. Your child is a child, a human child. It's not going to go over well. Okay? Please, for the love of everything. I get that you hate men, but if you treat your son like shit because you are like, hateful towards these ain't shit men, you're gonna end up, and the probability of your son turning into the ain't shit men that you don't like, it's higher. Like, your kid is not a punching bag. Your kid is not somebody to just start just pushing all your hatred towards other things and all this other. No. Gosh. Why do people not give a fuck about children, bro? Shit's crazy.
So it seems like even in her romantic relationships, on one hand, she absolutely needs a man in her life at all times. She needs her son in her life. On the other hand, she's incredibly skeptical and grossed out by a man's aggressive sexual tendencies. And she seems to think that Anders does that at the ripe age of 4.
What?
I mean, it was just escalating very quickly.
Oh my gosh.
But when they suggested that he be placed into the foster care system, his mom disagreed, and technically there was nothing that they could legally do about it.
Are you fucking kidding me? Like what this is making me so mad.
But that was when he was a kid. Later, as a teenager, a few of the neighbors, they could see the red flags in Anders. They could practically smell the red flags.
Really stink?
Really. And when the neighbors, they stepped onto their front doormat to walk into their homes, their shoe would sink into the doormat and make that disturbing squishing noise. It's like if somebody soaked the doormat in a tub of water, pulled it out, and then you step on it, it's like squish.
Oh.
And they're like, that smell, I know that smell, because there's no way it's water.
What is it?
It's pee.
Oh, yeah, wow,
there was
what?
only one resident who would pee on all the doormats, and it wasn't a family pet, it was Anders.
Pissy ass boy, what is wrong? What's going on?
But it's best not to even say anything about it, because if you talk to Anders' mom, she's not going to do anything about it, and if you talk to Anders about it, he might retaliate even harder. What
are you gonna do, pee harder?
The neighbors likely said something because her doormat was peed on. Then her weekly newspapers were soaked in pee. Then her storage room in the basement also peed on.
I'm not gonna hold you. I'm calling the police. You need to be stopped. Stop. Like, stop. Goodness gracious. Like, stop doing this, dude. Somebody, I can't talk to your mom, bro. I can't even fathom something like this happening. The only thing that I heard was someone pooping and like setting it on fire in a brown paper bag in front of somebody's doorstep. That's it. Not peeing on everything that.
There were rumors going around that he liked to play Master of Death and Life with ants.
Oh,
he
my
would find an
goodness.
ant colony,
Oh,
and he
Lord.
would see them all walking in the straight line, all the working ants. And he got off on the idea that he could eeny, meeny, miny, moe, and then just squash one to death.
What the fuck?
It was all up to him. It was his choice. They didn't get a say in who survives and who dies. He would catch bumblebees and put them in a cup of water to watch them drown, and he thought it was hilarious.
Yo.
He would even have these rats that he shoved into a small cage, and it seemed like the sole purpose of having these pet rats was so that he could hurt him. But eventually, he would move on from rats to people.
Yeah.
Now, this is very interesting. So in high school, Anders was bullied, but he was also bullying other kids. So the stronger kids would bully Anders, and then he would turn around and pick a kid weaker than him and then bully them. One time, he picked a skinny boy from the school, laid him in an old rug, rolled him up like a sushi roll, and just started jumping on the rug.
Bro, why is nobody whooping his ass? Like, dog. I'm not. Well, maybe the bullies were whooping it. Like, dude, this dude. Bro, he can't. He needs to be stopped. What the fuck?
Crushing him.
What the?
And he thought it was hilarious. And boom.
What?
There is a loud bang and an echo through the cafeteria of the main building on the island of Utøya.
Oh shit!
And it sounds like if someone threw a metal tray onto the ground. Anders walks in and he starts calmly going from room to room. Nobody's running away from him. In fact, the kids are gathering near him, watching him, waiting for him to give out orders. He's a police officer, after all.
Oh, yeah.
He's here to save them from whatever is going on this island. So far, all they've heard were a few loud noises that sound like fireworks and some screaming. He walks over at a regular pace to a group of students that are just kind of huddled in the corner. And he opens fire.
Oh my gosh.
All of them drop down, and he kind of wants to laugh. He said in that moment, come on, at least half of them were faking it. So he calmly walks around the pile of students on the ground and starts aiming for each of their heads.
Bro, somebody stop
How many rounds of
him.
bullets did he pack?
What the
He had a lot to spare. He shot one boy 8 times. He knocked him to the ground for good measure. He shot another one 5 times. And
Yo, I did not know that this video, bro, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't really have any idea that this video was gonna be this. I'm so sorry if this is like messing with you. This is crazy.
Then he turns and shoots another 5 girls 18 times, 18
What
bullets
the
until all 5
fuck?
are dead. Then he moves on to the next room of the main building. He
Bruh.
kills 5 more in there. This to him, this
Is
was
there
easy.
any type of
This is what he
security?
practiced
What
for
the
months
fuck?
for. He was getting into a sick sort of flow state. It was actually the beginning when he first landed on the island that was tough. All the nerves, the anxiety, he didn't know if he could go through with it. When he first arrived on the island, he was questioning, is this really gonna like, should I just act like I'm a police officer and then be like, oh, sorry, I just wanted to protect the kids? Because he was that nervous. The first people that he came face to face with on the island were an off-duty cop that was volunteering to be a security guard for Utøya.
And the nigga ain't got no gun or anything.
And a woman named Monica. She's the main coordinator of the program, known as the Mother of Utøya.
Right.
And this is right when he lands on the island. He's surveying the area. He's jittery. He feels the adrenaline. I mean, the island looks a little bit bigger than he imagined. Everything is feeling so surreal. Is this really happening right now?
What the fuck?
This is crazy. The off-duty cop starts questioning him. And where did you say that you were stationed? Oh, Grönland Station. And they sent you alone to the island. No. 2 other cops are going to be coming. When?
What?
Later.
Later?
Do you know Jorn from Grönland? The real cop looks suspicious of all of his answers so far. And this Jorn question could be a trap. Either there is no Jorn, or there's a Jorn that everybody who works at the station would know about. Either way, this man is a massive threat to Anders' plan. He needs to get...
Also, he just arrived on the island with a fucking rifle. Not like a Glock 17 or something. A fucking rifle. This don't look like nothing police protocol at all, actually. This don't sound right at all.
Get rid of him ASAP. It's now or never. He doesn't answer. He slowly reaches for his pistol while the off-duty cop and Monica are walking in front of him, guiding him up the little trail.
Oh, shit. So
he raises it, and Monica turns around in time and screams, "No, don't!" He shoots the guard in the back. Then he turns, points the gun at Monica, and shoots her once in the back.
Nigga.
They're both down on the ground, and he fires more shots into both of their faces. Right at that moment, when he's done, he looks up, and the boat captain, who happens to be Monica's husband...
No way.
What?
Sees his life partner on the ground covered in blood, and he screams at the children on the island, "Run for your lives."
Yo, what in the shit? What the fuck is... Yo, this is not... Bro.
And everybody starts running. Except Anders. He keeps his pace.
Bro, Anders gotta die. He has to die. There's no, nah, bro. What the fuck, dude? What the fuck?
And he starts hunting them down one by one. The students are turning to each other. "Everyone, report to the cafeteria. Please grab a buddy and let them know that we're all meeting in the cafeteria." The air is humid. It's been raining all day, and this...
What happened with the captain? What happened with the captain?
Students are showing up, clonking around in their rain boots. Wait, what's going on? It's not even mealtime. Why are we all assembling in the cafeteria? Was there something on the schedule? Another guest speaker? A few of the students had privileged information. They would lean over. "No, I think they want to talk to us about what's going on in Oslo. Apparently there was a bomb." A bomb?
Bro.
In Oslo? A lot of the students had parents that worked in the government building, or at least...
Bro, rest in peace to Monica. Bro, I'm trying to figure out, why did she just move past the captain? He just screamed and then that was it? What? So he took this dude to an island to where his wife is there. And he saw his wife just get killed in cold blood. And he just screamed. And that's it?
on that street, because remember, this is the labor camp youth group.
Fuck?
Considering that they're all part of this labor party, kids are starting to get really panicked. They're calling their mom and dad over and over until they finally get a response. Is this how parents feel when they don't pick up the phone? That's what they're joking about. The kids are on the verge of an anxiety attack. Mother Utøya, Monica, she's been managing this summer camp for the past 20 years, and she's trying to calm the kids down. She's bringing out her maternal side, and she's being very comforting. The rest of today's events have been canceled. The ferry will only run as needed instead of every hour back and forth off the island.
Bro.
But I just want you guys to know that you are safe. We are safe. We are in the safest place to be right now. Thankfully, almost all the parents working at the government buildings were fine, uninjured, and they all agreed. You guys are in the best place right now, because if there's going to be another attack, another bomb, it's not going to be on the island. It just made more sense because metropolitan areas, that would be the main focus. This was the logical guess. Why would they have a bomb on the island?
Right.
In that case, the parents were grateful that their kids were there. The kids were to sit tight, talk to an adult or counselor if they needed to emotionally process this information a little bit better. But other than that, they should be good from there.
Right.
Wait, did you guys hear that?
Oh, shit.
Hear what? I don't know. It sounded like a hammer hitting a piece of metal? A construction type noise or something?
Wait, oh, fuck.
You just heard that, right? Did you hear that? It sounds like a firework or something. God, maybe some kid thought it'd be hilarious to light a firework right now after the news of the bombing. That's so sick, okay? If that's the case, it's very childish. That would not be the case at all. Other kids thought maybe the camp had it set up already so that the kids could learn what it's like to grow up in a war zone, to have these unexpected attacks and air raids.
Nigga.
But if that's the case, that would be incredibly insensitive considering what happened earlier in Oslo with the bomb.
Right.
But there was no time to even contemplate because all hell will break loose on the island. The kids just start running. Some of them have no idea why they're running, where they're running to, and some of them
this
don't
is
even know
terrifying.
what they're running from. They just see people screaming
gosh.
and running, so they're running. Wait, what are we running from right now? It's like an obstacle course with all the tents, the bonfires, camping gear, rain boots. If you trip, you might die. The confused kids keep running and asking questions. What the hell is going on right now? Why are you running?
Bro.
Nobody would respond, but eventually they would all run past a body, bloodied, dead, on the ground. And now they knew what they're running from. Hello, this is the emergency operator. How can I help you? Please help us. We're on Utøya Island. There is a man walking around in a police uniform shooting at us. The line goes dead. The operator stares at his phone. What is wrong with kids these days? I mean, the youth, they really have no such thing as discipline. What a sick joke to make right after the Oslo bombing.
Why do you think... Wait, what? So a bombing happens in Oslo. Nothing after this would warrant... There are some other calls and you just think it's a prank? Hey, bro, come on, bro. Don't piss me off yet.
He's about to turn to his coworker to rant about this kid doing a prank phone call when ring, 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 ring.
Oh, this
Every
isn't
single phone is lighting up and the calls are getting backed up. Every single phone call from Utøya Island.
Yo.
This was not a sick prank.
Send the military or something. I don't know. Back in the
main building, Anders was methodically murdering the children. He would walk up to a girl hiding her head near the piano keys, thinking he couldn't see her. He walks over, shoots her.
Dog.
Blood starts pouring out and down between the piano keys. Shot after shot, he's just firing into everybody. A lot of the kids would hide their faces with their hands. The bullet would go through their hands and then into their heads. Anders walks up to behind the piano and sees another girl hiding. He smirks, fires a shot. It goes through her hands, but it doesn't hit her skull. Then another shot. This time it goes through the top of her arm. And the whole time, she thought, this isn't so bad. I think I can survive this. I think so. I mean, her whole body just started to feel numb. She felt like this buzzing sensation. Her brain is not registering at all what's happening right now. It felt like she'd been kicked with a soccer ball really, really hard. But she thinks she can survive. And then the next bullet hit her jaw.
Fuck.
She slumped to the ground, holding her jaw in place, and she could hear the gunman just breathing heavy, walking over her to the next student to kill. It's interesting. The taste? She said that she's never tasted that before in her life. Gunpowder.
Oh.
It tasted like gunpowder.
Oh my gosh.
This was gonna kill her for sure. I mean, she could feel it. She's never experienced this before. But the movies, the books, this is it. One shot and you're dead. This is her third, and it's in her jaw.
Bro,
she's starting to lose feelings in her arms, and then she tasted it. This time she knew that taste. It was blood. Meanwhile, 16-year-old Elizabeth is on the phone with her dad. She heard the news about the bomb in Oslo, and her dad works as a truck driver in Oslo, Monday through Thursday. She has no clue what route he takes for work and, like, what happened if he were to be in front of the van when it exploded. What then? Thankfully, he picks up to let her know that he's at home still. He didn't make it into work. He's going to be okay. Elizabeth just feels this weight lift off her shoulders. She can go find her older sister and tell her that her dad was stressing them out for no reason. He forgot to unsilence his phone. That's why he didn't pick up, but he's fine. She has no idea where her older sister Catherine is, though. That was 10 minutes ago. This time she's on the phone with her dad, and she's not talking to him. He's just listening through the line, and she won't respond to him. He just hears her screaming.
Oh my goodness.
He talked to her 10 minutes ago, and it was a pleasant conversation. What is going on? He checks the news. There's nothing about Utøya Island. There's nothing. There was no bomb that was set off there.
Dog.
The first thought that pops into his mind is she's being essayed.
Wait, what?
Because there's no news about the island. He thinks that she's calling because someone is essaying her at the summer camp.
Yeah.
Either way, he hops into his car and he's telling Elizabeth, who is no longer responding to him, that he's coming. He's coming to the island. He's going to come and get her right now.
Bring a gun.
For 2 full minutes and 7 seconds, he could do nothing but listen to his daughter scream for her life.
Dog, this is fucked.
Then a bullet goes through her head, through her left temple, out her right temple, and straight into the phone, and the line goes dead.
Good Lord, what the fuck?
Anders' life was not as easy as it looked.
I don't give a shit about his life. His life needs to end right now. Like I'm not gonna lie. I don't want to hear nothing about this dude's life. I thought he was just a freaky fuck. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is
Okay, in order for this to work, he had to prep for months in a random farm out in the isolated part of town, out in the middle of nowhere.
Start
He had to
shooting
sit there
at
for months,
children.
going over the laborious, tedious steps that it takes to create a bomb that weighs a few thousand pounds. He had to crush over 200 packages of aspirin, the headache medication. He had to grind down aluminum till it was a fine silvery dust. It just got on everywhere. Do you know how aluminum powder is?
No.
I mean, no matter what you do, it's going to be on every single piece of your clothing. It's just going to be covered in gray dust. It's worse than glitter, honestly, to get out. But it also makes things more explosive.
what?
He had moved to the farm a few months ago. It's about a 2-hour drive from his mom's house, and he clearly underestimated the amount of work that this whole thing was going to take. His plan was to create a fertilizer bomb. But it's not as easy as they say online. Fertilizers for farms are usually in pellet form. Each pellet is coated in a water-repellent material. To make these pellets detonate, because, you basically have to soak it in diesel and gasoline, the pellets have to be crushed in order for it to become explosive. Now, how do you crush it without grinding it? He doesn't have a machine. So he would just put them all over on the red barn floor and grab a dumbbell, one of those workout dumbbells, and he would just crush them. He barely got through anything. Nothing is going as planned. His whole body feels like it's been ran through by a truck. He's so sore all the time. He feels like his arms are going to fall off. His timeline keeps getting pushed back and back and back. At this point, he's going to miss the summer camp. And even when he was able to do it, he's reading about all these shady websites and how easy it is to get ignited and how so many people have blown themselves up in the process of trying to create a fertilizer bomb.
Holy shit.
So he's feeling a little freaked out. And the fertilizer dust is everywhere. He said, I used a 3M mask, but surely I'm going to die of cancer within 12 months. I mean, I must have gotten so much of the fertilizer dust into my lungs.
I'm just trying to figure out, this nigga is all like this dude, like the way she's making him sound is like he's talking, like he's just like really like he's like talking to himself. This nigga can't just talk to himself and say, hey, maybe I shouldn't kill children. Hey, maybe I shouldn't make this bomb. Hey, like what the fuck?
He would make mini versions of the big one that he was planning, and when it was thundering outside, he would take it out into the field to test it
and start
to make sure it works.
And nobody's seen this.
That's crazy.
What the?
And it gave him a lot of anxiety. What if someone hears it? What if someone sees him? But also, what if it detonates before he can walk away? What if the fuse doesn't work as planned? Then what? So to do all of this, I mean, he had to spend a ton of money on steroids and protein powder to get his muscle mass up. This guy was jacked. I mean, there's no way that he felt he could carry out this plan if he did not have the stamina. He drank a ton of milk for a few months straight. He said that his reward system was good food and protein. He needed all the energy that he could get if he was going to kill as many people as he planned to kill. He wanted to kill over 100.
Why?
Some people have described the island of Utøya as a piece of heaven on earth. Or at least before July 22nd.
Yeah, I was about to...
If you look at the island from an aerial point of view, it's heart-shaped. And people say that it has all the best things about Norway just compiled into this one tiny little space.
Really?
The trees, the water, the climate. I mean, the island itself is pretty underdeveloped, which just adds to the beauty of it. There's no crazy resorts on the waterfronts. The island is owned by the Labour Party in Norway. So there's just a few buildings out there for the purpose of gatherings and seminars and... most importantly, the youth summer camp that had been going on for 61 years. Yeah, the few buildings on the island include the main building, That's where all the guest speakers come to do these massive group activities. Then you have the cafeteria, a cherry red schoolhouse, tiny green cabins, as well as clearings to set up tents. There's also this little flat patch where you can play soccer, but most of the island is wooded. And these wooded areas, they just drop randomly down into a cliff into the water.
Okay, that's a little crazy. There's a tree on the side of it.
Really nowhere you could run.
Oh, fuck.
And he was hunting them, and they had nowhere to hide.
Bro.
He would later say it's not like the movies, you know, the way people die. Yeah, I mean, there were two ways that people reacted to him on the island. This is what he said. Either they would lay down and pretend to be dead, or they would...
The fact that he's still, like, talking about this is really pissing me off. This nigga's still alive.
Freeze completely. Like,
y'all just let this dude kill 60 some odd children and people. 60 plus. And he...
Their feet were glued to the ground. They could not stop staring at him. He would have the gun barrel up to their face, and they could not run. Nothing was holding them down. They were just frozen. It's like they knew what was going to happen next. He was going to shoot them. He's not going to spare them.
Bro.
He just thought it was so strange. I mean, he never saw anything like that in the movies. But he was also experimenting on his time in the island. He said one time he shot a girl mid-scream. He fired into her mouth. Her skull shattered, but her lips remained unharmed. The bullet did not graze any part of her lips.
Oh my gosh.
He's basically bragging that his aim was good. He also would later report that he shot people's heads, and they would all sort of let out this exhale, like a He thought that was interesting. He said it didn't happen all the time, but most of the time it did. And he never read about that anywhere, nor was it depicted in the movies.
Probably because...
There are reports, though, that after he aimed and shot someone, he would let out a quick little whoop or a cheer. And even then, there was still a lot of chaos on the island.
Fuck?
Obviously, nobody knew how many shooters there were, or if he was the only one, or if there were other officers on the island. Everyone was confused. Is this a real cop? Is this not a real cop? Near the middle of his spree, he would get tired of checking every nook and cranny in the grass and in the buildings. He resorted to luring the kids out. Is everybody okay? We caught the gunman. You're safe. The ferry is coming. We need to line up and get you on the boats. Kids would poke their heads out of their hiding spots and see him in his police uniform with the police badge on his black shirt and all the gear that a real police officer would have. Come on, everyone. We've apprehended the shooters. It's safe now. We got to get going. We got to make sure that everybody's accounted for.
Dog.
One by one, they would hesitantly get up and walk from the area of the grass that they were hiding in. And once he gathered a big group, he would lift up his arm and open fire.
Oh my goodness.
This nigga, bro, somebody needs to put him down. After being shot,
one survivor said she was shot in the shoulder and in the stomach, then later once through her thighs, through her legs. And she remembered thinking, okay, so this is how I'm gonna die. This is it. She just remembers feeling so thirsty and just waiting for death. She closed her eyes, and even before she closed her eyes, she said that everything looked foggy and misty, and the sounds were all muffled as if she was underwater. And she thought, oh, this is what death feels like. Okay. She closes her eyes and she gets ready because she said, I'd rather just die quickly. But the darkness never came. And she opened her eyes again and she felt this overwhelming sense of, well, if death doesn't come to me, why would I go to death? I should try and survive.
Okay.
And she said that she kept thinking about two things to keep herself awake and distracted. One, she hadn't seen the last Harry Potter movie yet. She read all the books, but the last film, Deathly Hallows Part 2, it'd be a shame if she left the series unfinished.
You know what? This is your wish. Okay.
And two, there was this guy in her class. He was a total douchebag, and she never told him he was a douchebag. And she said, so now, unless I go and tell him he's a douchebag, he's going to live his whole life not knowing that he's an ultimate douchebag. So she had to stay alive for that.
Respect. Okay.
Anders did spare a few of the kids. One was this little boy. I believe he was there with his parents, and Anders believed that he was too young to know any better, too young to have a choice on whether or not he was at a camp like this. So he spared the little boy, but also he needed some more bullets.
What the fuck?
But he also spared 21-year-old Adrian.
Why?
Adrian, in the beginning, when he first heard the firework-like noises, he did not believe that someone was hunting them. I mean, as of right then, this just doesn't make sense. It's kind of ludicrous. The idea of someone coming onto the island and shooting at them in Norway, where it has one of the lowest murder rates, like, people don't just shoot people in Norway. That's crazy.
Right.
Adrian thinks genuinely, like, someone in the camp is trying to have a sick joke right now.
Goodness gracious.
And even though his brain is having a very hard time processing everything that he's heard, his body's reacting. He is half crouched, hidden behind a tree, and all around him he can feel more teenagers crouching and waiting to see what's the best next step. Everyone but the girl in gray. She did not hear anything. She had been in the showers the whole time. She had no idea that her friends were being hunted and murdered in the woods. She didn't hear the gunshots. She was in the shower.
Oh my
She's
gosh.
walking out of the bathroom, and all the other students are holding their breath because she's on the phone and walking straight towards the guy with the gun.
Hey, bro. Nah. Whoa. What the fuck? This is fucked, bro.
The man starts walking straight towards her, too. He doesn't speed up or slow down. He just walks at a leisurely pace, and he looks like he's intrigued.
Like Michael Myers.
Like they're just strangers that are about to pass each other on a hike. But when they're a few feet away from each other, the girl looks up, and her whole body tenses. There's just something so unsettling about this whole situation. Why is there a police officer on the island, and why is he holding a gun, and why is he looking at her like that?
And there's nobody around.
There is, but they're hiding.
Right.
Bro,
her whole body tenses,
Lord.
and she instinctively takes a few steps back. And the students in the grass see the man lift his right hand and shoot her straight in the head.
Oh my
And she is
gosh.
dead.
What the fuck?
That is when Adrian realized, this is not a prank. This is very real. Adrian and the others, they make a run for it. They start running towards the edge of the island because they're ready to jump off the cliff and into the water. They start throwing themselves into the water, under the water. Maybe if they're under the water, he can't see where they are. And maybe if he can, the bullet can't reach them that quickly and won't have the same amount of damage since bullets travel slower due to the density of the water. Exactly. So Adrian is knees deep in water when he looks to his side and he makes direct eye contact with the barrel of the gun.
What the
and
fuck?
It feels like multiple Mississippis have passed. Time is slow. He imagines his parents and their cute Australian shepherds just showing up to his grave.
Hey, bro,
and he's
they're
thinking,
nice.
what a shit way to die.
No,
That's
for
what he's
real.
thinking
Because,
in
like,
that
what?
moment. And he looks up and he screams, "Don't shoot!" But he instinctively closes his eyes, waiting for the impact of the bullet. What does being shot feel like? I mean, I guess he's going to find out, right? But when he opens his eyes, the man has lowered his gun and is stepping away from the trees.
The fuck?
What the hell? Is his gun jammed? But then he hears two more shots ring out almost immediately. The man, Anders, would later say he did not kill Adrian because Adrian looked like a conservative rather than a liberal.
This nigga is sick. Just fucking sick. Just sick.
What?
I'm just trying.
Anders had a manifesto titled 2083, a European Declaration of Independence. The whole thing is 1,500 pages long. 1,500 pages, not words, pages long. And when he's done, he had a plan to email it to over 1,000 people before he committed his crime, which he did. The manifesto was emailed out to like an email list
What the hell?
before he committed the crime, before he bombed the government building.
What would y'all do if y'all received some shit like that? Like, I don't know what I would do. I would honestly feel like my computer is like hacked or something. Like, I don't know. I don't know what I would do.
Who's on the list?
A lot of them were neo-Nazis that he met on a forum that he was collecting their emails, but also they would include Norwegian politicians and journalists. The whole dragging 1,500 pages of the manifesto are just him critiquing Norway, Norway's Labour Party, multiculturalism. I mean, nothing he says is revolutionary, eye-opening, even thoughtful, or remotely correct. Most of the pages are littered with historically inaccurate, rambling rants of someone who thinks that they know more than everybody else. Also, it's just filled to the brim with hatred. Basically, he's a raging racist. Most of his hatred is aimed towards anyone that is Muslim.
What?
He really
Why?
hates Muslim people. He thinks that they're immigrating too frequently to Norway and they're going to secretly all of the Norwegian women and take over.
I don't understand. Why do people think... why do I always feel like there's like a script with racist ass people trying to justify why they don't like immigrants? It's always a script. And why is rape in it all the time? Why are you what? What the fuck? Like I don't get that. I don't understand. I don't like what? So you just think people So you just think people who are religious in a religion that probably doesn't teach about rape? I don't know. I can imagine that it doesn't. If I'm not even gonna say if I'm wrong, tell me, bro. Like, regardless, what the fuck, dude? Like, why are racist people so fucking stupid? Like, damn.
Yeah, and he thinks that they're immigrating to his country because this random good-for-nothing civilian owns the country. In the manifesto, we do get a diary of how he's planning on committing the bombing and shootings. He even writes about his steps to get there and how he's been planning this for years.
What is the goal?
And something very unsettling to note, the way Anders talks about the plan is almost like he's planning a tactical military operation. There is no sense that he understands these are real lives. Not saying that he doesn't know right from wrong, but like he's such a narcissist, he does not believe that other people's lives mean anything. This is his world and we're all just living in it, is the tone that he uses. He also emphasizes the importance of bringing water with you on a trip like this to get the mission completed so you don't get dehydrated. The way that he describes his future movements, his plans, is almost like he's playing a violent video game. He also rants heavily in the manifesto about the new Norway and how it's become a place where women come in and they just take men's power. He said it's so hard to find a suitable female to marry because all the women in Norway are just so liberal and they would make horrendous housewives, which is why when he was younger, in his 20s, you know, he was a bit more into the idea of getting married and having a traditional family and a housewife. He tried to get a mail order bride. Yeah, okay, so he said, I'm going to look for women that are super submissive, right? And I think that is just crazy to think that a specific ethnicity of women is more submissive is wild.
And also, the thing about it is, I don't understand why some of these sexist, misogynist ass people be trying to be like, oh, I'm going to find me a submissive woman. Like, are you dumb? Like, are you dumb? Like, literally. Even if she is, I have an idea that you're probably gonna treat her like shit. One, and that's not gonna end well. Like, I'm just like, yo, like, what these people, bro, niggas be so stupid, bro. I don't. It be making me mad. It be making me so mad. I'm like, bro, is you dumb? Like, what are you doing? What are you talking about?
But he also goes for Eastern European countries,
okay,
which is like not what the women are known for there. They're usually known for being very independent and headstrong like any other country.
So he's just like a pure dumbass. Okay.
He meets a Russian woman by the name of Natasha, and he said that they dated for a while. And most of it was just him shit-talking her country and her culture.
That's rude.
He was just like, yeah, you guys are super uncivilized, and I think that most of your vegetables and food is radioactive.
That is racist as fuck. What? I was about to say, you calling other people uncivilized while this the plan that you have. And this is civilized to you.
Because, you know, Chernobyl. Wow. Obviously, she stopped dating him, and he wondered why things did not work out. He was genuinely confused.
He's an
He
idiot.
didn't feel like the problem was him, you know? And there's really only two people in the relationship, so clearly the problem was with her, the female. And women, honestly, it was women's problem. He stated that his upbringing had been so difficult because his mom was a bad mom because of the feministic revolution.
This is why I don't like, what? Wait, what?
That's why she had so many boyfriends, because the world was like, you should have so many boyfriends. You're a feminist. Ooh, go do your thing.
Why does that make you hate women though? Like, what? I don't get what? I'm like so confused. What the fuck?
He remembers when he was a child, the very first female prime minister of Norway was in office, Gro.
Okay.
She's actually known as the mother of Norway.
Cool.
And he hated her.
Why?
He said she embraced the position too much. As if...
What does that mean? Oh my gosh. This dude's a fucking idiot.
She genuinely thought that a woman being in the most powerful seat of the country was a natural thing.
I'm about to get triggered.
Man. She's just warming it up.
I'm about to get triggered, bro. What the fuck?
He said that TV stations are busy being a propaganda machine where it just showcases female superiority. He rants that women use harassment charges to keep men in line. He writes, the man of today is expected to be a touchy-feely subspecies who bows to the radical feminist agenda.
No, we're not. We literally should just treat women with respect. Like, it's not, bro. It's not that. It's not that, like, deep. Yes, there may be some women who want to, I guess, overcorrect, but dog, get over yourself, dude. Like, what the fuck? Like, bro, women are not your fucking enemy. You're just an enemy to the world.
To summarize 1,500 pages, the women were taking over, and now this was turning into a vagina state. That's what people like him called it.
A vagina state. Nigga, you're here because of a vagina. Oh, it's so stupid.
Vagina state.
Fuck.
Yeah. So what is he going to do about it? First, he's going to kill all these people to make a statement. The Labor Party, the Democrats, the liberals, if you will, the people that want women in power. Gro was part of the Labor Party, and it is the current ruling party of Norway at the time in 2011. He wanted to kill them, strike them down, make a statement. Then he would find a way to take over and stop the ruling of their country.
Take over?
Then he would create the most specific conditions for breeding the best race. You had to have blue eyes and blonde hair. He would create these surrogate factories where men with blonde hair, blue eyes would go in and just impregnate blonde-haired, blue-eyed women so that these genes don't disappear because of all the Muslims that were coming in and having sex with Norwegian women.
Bro, this is so racist.
Wait, so he had a plan after this island shooting? Wow.
It was
Bro, this is a lot. I'm getting overstimulated by this dumbass shit, bro. Just mean, racist, and ugly.
a very dumb plan, but he did have a plan. I mean, it's honestly wild because he felt like he was one of the superior people to repopulate the population, right? Most people describe him as being average. They basically state he's so average, he's not even good at being average. He's average at being average. He was an average dude, average grades, average personality. He was even an average bully. He wasn't even like the worst bully in school. He was just like a very average dude.
All right.
On the island, they had two choices.
Jeez.
Stay on the island and get shot, or try to swim away from the island and likely die by getting shot in the water or drowning.
Fuck.
So they're all throwing themselves into the lake, and their heavy clothes are dragging them under the water. It's a dangerous place to swim. And then the figure appears. Anders is standing on the edge of the trees, staring at the teenagers, trying to swim away, and his face is bright red. Was it blood? Was he just hot? I don't know. And he screams, "I'm gonna kill you all. You're all gonna die tonight." And he opens fire. Viljar just remembers thinking, I shouldn't touch my brain right now. He could feel the cold water, and he remembered the bullets had just rained down on them. Viljar was busy shielding his brother, pushing him into the water, pushing him out of the way, and his brother kept screaming for him, and he kept screaming, "Swim, get out of here!" He remembers getting shot a few times. His brother was now gone, hopefully alive, swam away. Hopefully he did a good job pushing him. But now he was feeling most of his body go numb. His eye especially, it felt like something was in his eye. He could see with his other good eye, but not well. His childhood best friend slammed down right next to him.
Fuck.
She had been shot, her hands were bloodied, and she was holding her stomach where the bullet was. And she was crying to him, "I'm gonna die, Viljar, I'm gonna die, aren't I?" "Oh, no you're not. No, you're not gonna die. We're not gonna die." But he couldn't really see. He couldn't really see how injured she was. His eye was hurting him. He tried to open his other eye, and no light was coming in. He looked at his friend, and he calmly said, "I think I've been shot in my eye." She looked at him. Oh, shit. Because what else do you say to someone who had been shot in their eye? He put his hand up to his eye, and he felt something squishy.
Oh!
It was soft.
Oh!
It was his brain.
Oh my gosh.
His skull had been shattered, and there were bits of brain outside of his head.
Fuck.
But his brother, he just needed to make sure that his brother was good so that he could rest. That's what they say in the movies, right? Keep yourself awake until your loved ones are good, and then you can go to sleep. So he laid there on the shore telling jokes to everyone. What movie says that? He was shot, bleeding out. A lot of them near him were dead, and he would tell them jokes. He would hum, he would sing, and then he would cry for his brother. That was all he wanted to do, was to make sure his brother was safe until he couldn't do it anymore. That was his plan. Some of the other teenagers tried to find some humor in their potential last moments. 2 were shot on the shore and they were hiding behind rocks. They were both bleeding out, holding onto their wounds, trying to stop the blood flow, and they were trying to stay as still as possible so the killer doesn't come back. And they whispered, "It'd be really nice to have a cigarette right now."
What?
Yeah, it would be. You think the shops are still open? And they both giggled. And they stopped because it hurt. The Delta teams were dispatched to the island.
Finally!
Elite police units. They arrived 72 minutes after Anders. They're trying to get an understanding of what's happening, but it's been pure chaos for the past 72 minutes. Nobody knows who the killer is, where the killer is, and how many there even are. I mean, everyone's busy trying to stay alive. Even when the Delta teams get there, they're trying to talk to some of the wounded to try and figure out who the shooter is, but they don't want to talk. The ones that are still conscious, they're scared. They don't know if it's just another shooter pretending to be a cop trying to get them to talk, so they're pretending to be dead still. How do they know that these police are the good guys? Authorities described the survivors as being curiously quiet. They said it seemed like they were more or less paralyzed. They weren't screaming, they were just sitting there, as quiet as possible. The locals who were working near the docks or lived near the island, they started getting into their boats and they were getting ready. I mean, they had no idea what was going on, but it seemed like there were kids jumping into the frigid cold water trying to do something.
Oh my gosh,
so they start rushing over there.
Terrifying.
And now as they get closer, some of the boats stop and they just float around the island. Because they realize if they get close enough to help the kids, they could also become a victim. There's clearly blood everywhere. Other boat owners, they don't even think twice. They start navigating closer to pull the kids out of the water. The kids are being pulled up one by one, shivering, some of them actively bleeding. The water around them is turning pink. What the hell is going on? They're coughing up water. A policeman is shooting at us. Another boat owner drove as close to the group as children as possible. They can't get too close because the boat's propellers. And they were trying to be as quiet, trying to get the kids to get into the boat or at least lift their arms out so we can help grab you. But none of the kids would respond. It's like they were too scared to move. It took him a minute to realize they were actually dead. One of the survivors said she has really bad vision and she had lost her glasses in the water. And she was really glad she did because she couldn't see much. But she was told it was a lake of death.
Bro,
Some of the boat rescuers
gosh.
told the kids, don't look back, okay? Just keep...
I'm not even gonna lie, bro. If I find out and I have a feeling that this nigga is still alive and they just kept his ass in custody... I'm not even gonna hold you because I'm gonna be fucking angry. I'll try to keep as calm as possible because this.
Keep your eyes ahead. But some of the survivors, they couldn't help it. They looked back, and along the shoreline in the water were just the lifeless bodies of their friends scattered around. Anders was killing an average of 1 person per minute, 1 life taken per minute. And once the Delta teams get there, Anders was immediately arrested. It was incredibly anticlimactic, uneventful. He basically surrendered and told the police he's not going to hurt the police because they're his brothers.
What? I just don't get it. I really don't understand. Like, why the fuck are we just letting him breathe? He literally has a gun in hand. What is this? He used to be like, drop the gun. Okay, I'm gonna come over to you guys, all right? Don't shoot me. Bro, he just killed so many children. Shoot him in the dick hole. Like, why? For what? Why? Because you want to know why he did it? Man, fuck his explanation. Get him the fuck out of here. Like, dog, like, what?
It's the others he wants to take out. Immigrants and those that are sensitive to immigrants, that care for immigrants. He said, I'm not against you. This is politically motivated. This country is being invaded by foreigners. This is a
get this nigga out of my face.
The start of hell.
Get this nigga out of my face, please.
A few things to note. Anders actually called to turn himself in multiple times while he was on the island, twice. And he mainly did this not because he was like, suddenly I feel remorse. I don't know why I did that. I just woke up from a hallucination and I was killing people. No, he did this because he did not want the officers to show up and shoot him on sight when they get to the island. Ironically, he was very invested in wanting to save his own life. And additionally, he kept calling his crimes executions, like the victims were executed by the state or something. He refuted them being referred to as murders, which is wild.
What the fuck is it then?
After his arrest, the only thing that he seemed really to care about, well, one, was not being put in a prison with a lot of Muslim inmates.
Wow.
But also was that they do not take his picture. He was hell-bent on the police using one of the pictures that he had prepared for this very moment. He included it in his manifesto. In fact, he wrote in his manifesto, before you commit acts of terrorism, take professional headshots. Where you look good, get a haircut, buy a suit and tie, do your makeup even. Because otherwise the police will purposely find the most R-word looking photo of you and post it everywhere.
The thing is, if they're looking for that type of photo, I don't think you taking professional headshots will encourage them to not keep looking for the worst photo of you. Like, what the fuck is going on here?
That's the photo you're going to be known for.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
And what did they use?
They used their own photo.
Yeah, like what?
Yeah.
Did you see the photo that he prepared?
Yeah.
What is it?
What does that look like?
I mean, some of them are like him posing with a gun, but they do look photoshopped.
Bruh.
So it's like face.
Bruh, this nigga put in PNG files, bro. It's just so it's so like, is that a Michael Jackson outfit?
Look photo, like trying to look cool.
Yes. Trying to look bad and cool.
Oh, it's some type of military thing. I can't. I can't. No, I can't. This dude is so.
In a little more than.
Like, this shit is so ridiculous. His manifesto is ridiculous. His views are ridiculous. But, like, this is real life. And he killed these people. And he looked like a fucking idiot through the whole process, bro. A monster. He gonna call them and say, "Hey, I'm gonna turn myself in. Don't shoot me." Oh, whoa, hold on. Don't take my picture. I got my own. I got my own pictures. Show me my
an hour. Anders had shot 99 people.
99.
Almost all of them he shot more than once. Almost half of them he shot at least 3 times.
99
Out of the 99, 69 died, leaving the remaining 30 with very serious injuries.
My God.
In Oslo, he killed 8 people with his bomb, and in total, in the span of a few hours, on July 22nd, 2011, he killed 77 people.
Dog.
The youngest being 14, and the oldest being 51, and the majority of the deceased being teenagers.
What the fuck?
2 of his victims were not shot or impacted by the bomb, but one 17-year-old boy, in his attempt to flee the island, he fell off a cliff and fractured his skull, leading to his death. Another 17-year-old boy was trying to swim away to escape the island, but remember how I said it rains a lot during the summer?
Yeah.
A lot of them were wearing rain jackets and rain boots. It wasn't hot, so a lot of them were wearing a lot of thicker, heavy clothing, and the water was pretty dangerous. He was found drowned at the bottom of the lake.
Oh my gosh.
It was the bloodiest day in Norway since World War II, and at the time, globally, it was the worst mass murder in modern Western history.
Holy shit.
At the time. Everyone on the island gets divided into 3 categories by the authorities. Survivors who had been shot, but they survived. Bodies, and those who are still on the island and likely not alive. Their bodies have yet to be recovered. And of course, you had the group that were not shot and they survived. Do you remember Elizabeth? She was the one on the phone with her dad when she was shot.
Mm-hmm.
She was unfortunately, she passed. But her older sister, Catherine, was also on the island, and she called her parents, and she was trying to keep calm so that they didn't worry too much. And she told them, "Mom, I've been shot in the stomach and the arm, but it's okay. I'm okay. They're taking me to the hospital." She would be hospitalized for 19 days.
Wow.
And then she'd be well enough to go home. And when she did, I mean, nothing in her life was the same anymore. She lost her little sister. She gets winded, even just climbing up a flight of steps. And one night, she completely broke down crying. "Why me, though? Why me? Elizabeth was the pretty one with all the friends. Why did I survive? Why not her? Why did she have to be the one to die?" And her parents didn't even know how to respond to that. Adrian, the one that Anders didn't shoot initially because he thought he looked conservative enough, well, he was eventually shot in the shoulder.
What?
Whether Anders was aiming for him or just opening fire on everyone and he happened to be in that group is unclear, but he was hiding when he was shot. He survived, made it to shore, and he kept insisting, I'm good. I've just been shot in the shoulder. There's other kids that have been shot in the head, the face, the stomach, the chest. Like, go take care of them. The EMT listens to his heart, and they're shocked. I mean, they're staring at Adrian like he's not even supposed to be here, because if that bullet had been 1 millimeter, one pencil tip closer to the left, he would have needed to amputate his whole arm.
Oh,
if it had been 1 centimeter, about the size of a staple, closer to his heart, it would have killed him.
What? Oh my goodness.
Viljar, the brother who was shot in the eye, he survived.
Oh shit. Okay.
Wait, the one that with the brain tissue out?
He lost an eye. He needed to amputate his arm,
Ooh.
but he survived, and so did his brother.
Hey.
Viljar was in a coma for a really long time. Nobody knew if he was going to make it. And the doctors came in, and they told his family, we're going to need to amputate his arm before he even wakes up from the coma. And his family said that Viljar's little brother, he would stick one arm into his shirt for the next few weeks until Viljar woke up.
Aww.
He said he wanted to prepare for when his brother woke up from his coma so he could teach them all the tricks of living without one of his arms.
You're a great brother.
So he tried to live his life without one of his arms so that he could give him all the hacks.
That's tough. That's tough. This is fucking... Bro, this is fucking...
There were a lot of siblings at the camp, and in some cases, parents lost both of their children at once. There was a survivor named Lara, and she said, it felt like he never ran out of bullets. When it started, there was so much mud that I almost slipped. I kicked off my sandals. I was running barefoot. It didn't take long to get to the end of the island, maybe 30 seconds. It was then that I realized there's no place to run to. There's nowhere to hide. She would lose her older sister, Bano, on the island. Many of the survivors, they lost friends or family, and they felt a ton of survivor's guilt. One survivor said, I only had time to escape and survive because he was busy killing someone else. In the days after the attack, the entire city of Oslo and really all over Norway, there were flowers laid out for the victims. Flower shops all over the country were running out of roses, lilies, then orchids, then carnations. Every church and monument in the city was covered in flowers. After Anders' arrest, Anders' mom was contacted by the police, and she was told to come out of the building and put her hands in the air. What? She thought that her son had also been injured in the bombing in Oslo. She was freaking out, making sure that her baby's all right. She thought it was strange, like he's not coming over for dinner like he promised. And it was only in the interrogation room that she learned what her son did. And she kind of sort of defended him. I mean, she didn't deny that he did this, at least not at the end. But she basically just said that Anders was a sensible and clever kid. He had good friends and was a nice boy, warm and fond of his mom. He did get arrested once before because he was like vandalizing public property. He was a tagger, meaning that he would go around tagging his name. This is very different from graffiti artists. Graffiti artists do art. For graffiti, taggers, they just write their names. Do you know those words?
Yeah.
Yeah, he would just spray paint walls. He was arrested for that once before. But other than that, she thought that he was getting his life together.
No.
After high school, Anders actually got involved in politics. He was actually a not bad networker once he needed to be. And because, that's what politics is. He was actually pretty good at it. Except there was always that thing. People could tell that Anders wanted to fit in a little too desperately. He also had a very strong preachy air about him that people didn't like in politics. For example, let's say you start a knitting club. Everyone who joins has never knit a day in their life prior to that club. Everyone is on the same skill level. Everybody is in the same experience level. And then suddenly 2 days in, there's someone giving you knitting advice as if they've been doing this for the past 2 decades of their life. And it's very annoying, to say the least.
That'd be like the least. That is the person I don't want to talk to me. Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. I don't want to talk. Don't talk to me. Don't do it.
That's Anders.
Like, what the fuck?
He gives up politics. He discovers his real passion is not politics. It's money. To him, it's either be a millionaire or die trying to be a millionaire. He was obsessed with money, status, and power. And honestly, he just liked the power that money gave him. Nothing else. He would have all these big, grand ideas of how he was going to revolutionize a reputable industry. And he always complained, you should not be ashamed of wanting to have a better life and setting goals. Norway is obsessed with the loser mentality.
What?
Yeah. He was always preaching and ranting about aiming higher, smashing through the most insane goals and boundaries. And if you listen to him talking, you would think that he's in the process of starting like the next Fortune 500 company. But no, he's selling online fake diplomas.
Okay.
He had a website, and it's a legal gray area. He would list the website as a decorative prop store for movie sets and films.
What?
But I mean, I think it's pretty clear. Everyone knows what's being sold there. He would sell very legitimate looking diplomas from top universities around the world. He was basically a glorified forger. And the only reason that he stopped, even though he was making like $1 million, he at one point was a millionaire.
What?
Yeah.
What?
He was scared not for being arrested. He was scared that he would be exposed for being a forger. And that is such a low thing to be exposed for. It's like being described as a thief. Like, that's a very low, petty crime. It was gross. So he quit selling fake diplomas and he tried to move on with his life, but he just couldn't find anything. So for 5 years, he moved in with his mom. This is when he's 27 years old. He locked himself in his room, and for 5 years, he just played video games. His favorites were World of Warcraft and Call of Duty. He was actually pretty good at gaming, and he really liked the concept of gaming. He went on these rants about how you just need to put in the hours to be respected. You don't need to be born into games. You don't need to be handsome. You play, and you get respect from other players. That's it. He likes that everybody starts on the same footing, and nobody has inherent privileges.
Okay.
Which, I mean, nobody tell this guy about cheat codes.
Yeah, I was about to say.
A lot of netizens did later point out.
He talking about all this shit as if like people don't be paying for their stuff and modding is a thing and all this stuff. Like, what are you talking about? He's just stupid. What?
That it is strange. He's a neo-Nazi, which the best way to categorize Anders is neo-Nazi and they're fascists. They're like super far right. And usually they're the bitter enemies of communists, which some would argue is like super, super far left.
Really?
But sometimes the things he says, it feels like he identifies more as a communist than a fascist. He's like, everybody should be equal, but only if you have blonde hair, blue eyes.
Yeah, I was about to say.
And only
wait,
if you
what?
have a wee-wee. He also did join the Freemasons only because someone on his dad's side was a Freemason, and he basically forced him into recommending him. And
he did join.
He did join.
Oh.
And nothing really came out of that. By the time that he had his little initiation ceremony, yeah, they have ceremonies, he was over the Freemasons. He was like, this is stupid. I'm just going to go kill people. He was already planning the murders at this point.
What the fuck?
At the end of the interview with Anders' mom, she looked the interviewer dead in the face and she said, I am the unhappiest mother in Norway. There's only one place a criminal would want to be called crazy or insane, out of their minds, bonkers. And that's in the courtroom. It's the only place that's actually going to help them to be considered a madman. Unless you're Anders and your attorney recommends a not guilty plea of insanity, but you want everyone to know that you knowingly committed all these crimes knowing right from wrong. Being considered insane by the court system was his biggest nightmare. Yeah. Priorities, okay? Another priority for Anders was debating, should he do a closed fist salute or an open palm salute? He decides to go with the closed fist. When he walks into the courtroom, before he takes his seat, he shoots out his right arm and extends it as straight as possible, and his right hand is clenched into a fist, and his knuckles are white.
I've seen that before.
Then he turns straight to the gallery of the courtroom and makes eye contact with the family members of the victims. He looks incredibly pleased with himself. Now, side note, they did have Anders go to the island and recreate the whole 72 minutes with them. They brought him back to the island. He was wearing a bulletproof harness.
What the
He was tethered to a police officer so that he couldn't run off. Literally, he's wearing one of those child leashes, but much more serious, bulletproof, tearproof, you get it. And he's just going around demonstrating where he shot which group, then which way he walked.
How is he wearing a bulletproof vest?
They were worried that he was going to threaten them into killing him.
What?
Like he was going to threaten a police officer so that they would shoot him dead.
Oh.
Wait, they were afraid that one police officer would kill him.
He would put them in a situation where they had to shoot him. Like he would want to exit by a police officer.
Right, like he's trying to run away or trying to attack them. And then...
So they can make him exit, but they didn't want to do that because they wanted him to stand for his crimes.
Right, okay.
Now, to a degree, it was for the police to get a very clear picture of how everything happened. But
how
it was
the fuck
also
did he
so
get
that
around
they could
it?
get a gauge on his emotions. And they observed that he had no regret, no emotions going back to this island. There is a picture of him where he was just holding up an imaginary gun and he's grinning.
What the
So he's
fuck?
basically displaying to the police, this is what I did here. It's like he's reliving the kills.
Just ugly. Just
Later during the trial,
ugly.
Anders is given the
Disgusting.
opportunity to address the victims' families. And he slowly gets up from his chair, turns to face the court, and he says, when people say they have lost their most beloved, I also lost my entire family.
Bro, shut
I lost my
up.
friends. It was my choice. I sacrificed them. But I did lose my entire family and friends on July 22nd. I lost everything. So to a certain extent, I understand.
No.
Crazy.
What the fuck?
And one snippet of his testimony. Yeah, okay, so in the US, it's advised that defendants do not take the stand, but Anders' testimony and cross-examination would go to last longer than a week. He actually gets very upset when they start rushing him because this is his time to shine. Yeah. And he tried to argue that he did not do this out of evil. He did this out of goodness. He was trying to help Norway. He also compared the summer camp, to a Hitler Youth event, which is crazy considering he has many parallels in...
Oh my gosh, this thing is so stupid. Like, damn. What are you talking about? Why are you even giving him a chance to speak? Like, stop. Like, stop. Stop giving these people chances to do these things. What the fuck? Gosh.
The way that he thinks that are parallel to Hitler. And what are you even talking about?
Yeah.
That's not even politically correct. It's astonishing how someone can be so evil, but also at the same time so incredibly unaware of themselves and their own ideologies. It's just weird.
Like, what are you talking about? I don't give a fuck of what you got to say right now. I'm taking this off. Well, this joke go. I'm not gonna lie.
Day 17 of the trial, an object goes flying through the courtroom. A shoe.
A shoe?
I mean, all anyone can do is just stare at it. It misses Anders,
Damn.
which is the target, and it hits one of his defense attorneys instead. And a man gets up screaming from his chair, "Go to hell, you killed my brother, you go to hell." Anders turns around and he looks disgusted by this man's actions. Like, throwing a shoe is the most violent and vile, just despicable, uncivilized thing a human could do.
But
that man looks him dead in the face and says, "You're a murderer and a devil, so go to hell." The whole courtroom is silent before one person starts clapping.
Oh gosh.
And then another.
This is just like a movie.
Everybody is cheering and clapping. The young man is escorted out of the courtroom with just one shoe. Now, to give you additional context, like I said, Anders hates Muslims, and shoe throwing actually has a very strong significance in Arab culture.
Oh, really?
Shoe throwing has, from my understanding, it basically means that the target of the shoe is worth no more than the dirt that we step in.
Oh shit. Damn.
And that's why he threw the shoe.
Oh.
He said that he just wants to humiliate Anders. That's all. Convey a message for all the victims, and it's an expression of disgust.
Interesting.
In the end, Anders was deemed sane and given the maximum punishment.
What is it?
Of 21 years.
Okay. All right.
You're kidding me.
Now, I will say there is a loophole in this. So this
Okay. Yeah. Bro, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Why did they do? Why? He killed 70-something people. And you can't even give him a year for a life that he ruined? 21. Holy. I got a headache.
Is what the Norwegian justice system calls containment. So it's not technically 21 years. It's likely that he'll never get out. So basically what happens is that parole can be considered in 10 years. But after 21 years, for whatever reason, it doesn't even really have to be like a valid, strong, crazy reason. The parole board is just like, no, you're going to stay another 20 years. It just seems like that's the maximum they can give. So it just means that after 21 years, they have to evaluate.
Oh, okay.
But like there's
keep
no way
his ass in there. Keep him in there.
Is what most people believe.
Keep him in there.
Though?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Like, I think no,
Keep
Norwegians
him in there.
would no.
Yeah.
Anders will be kept in solitary confinement. His only friends are a few parakeets that he gets to keep in he has a 2-story prison cell.
What?
It's 2 stories. We're going to get back to it because Norway has some of the best prisons.
Oh, okay.
Gosh.
Now, the victims' families and survivors are just trying to navigate life and, in most cases, severe PTSD. One survivor said that there are times where he's in a crowded street or store and he starts having panic attacks. His chest gets tight, like he's gasping for air. Another survivor said the only place that they feel safe is in a moving car.
Fuck.
Where there's no strangers, there's no openness, and it's easy to drive away.
Damn.
Some survivors still have bullets or fragments of bullets in their bodies because it would have been more dangerous to remove them. And one survivor said it definitely hurts with trying to move on. They said mentally it's like, there are still pieces of evil inside of me. And it just feels like a reminder. Some of the victims' families and survivors have moved on, though. Elizabeth and Catherine's dad, the one that was on the phone when he heard his daughter died, he said he doesn't hate Anders. He said, because I don't give a damn about him. Why should I care? I still have my family that I need to take care of, and to hate him, it would take my energy. From day one, he is nothing but zero to me.
Oh, all right.
Now, I want to give a massive disclaimer regarding Anders' imprisonment. I chose to include this portion regarding the Norwegian prison system only because it is a fact of the case and because a lot of netizens were talking about it. Okay. And I only compare it to the U.S. prisons because naturally that's where the most of you guys are. And also when I hear, oh, he's in prison, I'm kind of picturing an American prison, right? That is not the case. Anders filed a formal complaint. Well, he waged a lawsuit against the country of Norway for a violation of his human rights in prison. He demanded a replacement of his PS2, PlayStation 2, to a PS3. Because at this point, the PS4 had already come out, and it's not like he's demanding the best one, the newest one, but the PS2 is way too outdated.
Did they give him that shit?
What else can he do in there, or what can he not do in there?
Yeah, which by the way, Anders said that during the trial, in his manifesto too, he stated that he practiced shooting in first-person point shooter games like World of Warcraft, but in prison he gets access to any adult games that he chooses.
What?
So he could be playing these video games. And
bro, y'all like indulging him right now. Make his ass play like NHL hockey or some random shit. Like, don't give him a first-person shooter game. Give him some shit like Little Big Planet or something. Like, yo, don't give him what he wants. Talking about someone must do a lawsuit, nigga. What?
This is not
to
me
hell
trying to
you
make
go.
A connection with violent video games. Like, I typically don't subscribe to that belief, but he straight up said that's how I practiced. He also went to shooting ranges, but he also said, yeah,
bro.
He demands that his government allowance of $49 per week should be doubled.
Who do you...
Yeah, and he said that the fact that his typewriter has not been upgraded to a computer is a violation against his human rights. And he also mentions how he was given a rubber pen because he was constantly talking about self-exiting. So, of course, they're not going to give him a sharp pen to hurt himself with. So they gave him a rubber pen. And he said the pen is not ergonomic and it gives his hand cramps. He said it's actually sadistic that the government would give him nothing but a rubber pen to write with.
It's sadistic that the government that you hate is doing this. Yeah. Yeah, because you just literally just waged war or whatever the hell against this same government, started bombing government buildings, and went to an island and killed 70-something people. And you think that you...
He said it's a nightmare of an instrument, and I'm very frustrated with it.
Fuck
he
you.
wrote in the lawsuit, "You put me in hell, and I won't manage to survive that long. You
Good.
are killing me. If I die, all of Europe's right-wing extremists will know exactly who it was that tortured me to death."
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. What is that so?
The liberals.
Oh.
He also called himself a political prisoner and a human rights activist in the lawsuit. A human rights activist. Side note, there are a lot of women writing love letters to Anders in prison. But because he's in solitary confinement, the authorities get to read through all the letters before he gets to them, and they reject all of those.
Yeah,
all
what the hell?
Quote, fun ones. I do believe that they let in some hate mail because he also gets a lot of hate mail. In 2022, he applied for parole. After his minimum sentence of 10 years was served, his application was denied. Now, in 2024, he is 45 years old, and he waged another lawsuit this year against Norway, and he claims that his conditions in prison are inhumane and it's making him want to self-exit. But when a psychologist evaluated him, they stated that he does not appear to be very depressed and he was very low risk for self-exiting.
He's just lying.
But just to give you an idea of how depraved his inhumane conditions are, here's a glimpse of his everyday life. He can play video games, watch TV, read the newspaper, and check out books from the prison library. He was given a computer, so his typewriter was changed into a computer, but he does not have internet access. He can prepare his own food and do his own washing. He can have phone conversations with female friends. He can contact prison staff, lawyers, a priest, health professionals. He has an outside volunteer that he was working with to get updates on life and help with things, but he no longer wishes to see them. I think they pissed him off. They can play chess with some volunteers. He built a gingerbread house as part of a prison competition during the holidays. He's got access to an outdoor play yard and is allowed to keep pet birds.
That's freaking crazy.
Fuck
He
him.
has a living room in his cell that is the size of a medium-sized apartment living room, and there are 2 video game consoles connected to a flat-screen TV that looks to be about 60 inches. He has black leather couches, a coffee table, and curtains on a massive window that lets in a ton of natural light.
Oh my goodness. And he crying? Man, get...
He has a dining table that has one of those table runners that's equipped with candles.
Holy
so I guess if he
shit.
wants to eat nicely. The prison gym has a rowing machine, a leg press, all of it which looks very clean and new.
Wow.
Now, normally, this is a cell pod, so that 2-story cell would be shared between a few prisoners. But because Anders is high risk, he gets to have it all to himself.
Wow.
And he believes this is inhumane.
Wow.
And that is the story of what happened on Utøya Island. I don't think I need a disclaimer, but obviously, I don't think any religion has any sort of connection with one's personality. I do think that there's a lot of villainification of Muslims and
it's very weird.
I don't think anything he said
is even
very weird.
Yeah, is even worth debated on.
It's not even a conversation because it's like talking to a brick wall. Like there are no thoughts. It's just pure hatred.
Yeah.
There is a Netflix movie that was created based off the events and
fictional movie?
Fictional. I think there were some conversations about it, which obviously it was not used as source material, but I just want to let you know. What are your thoughts on this case?
Fuck that nigga.
Let me know in the comments. This was a highly requested video, and please check out the book. I think the author works with a lot of the victims' families, and it was just an incredibly tough read to get through, but I think it is very insightful. Please stay safe, and I will see you guys on Wednesday.
Bye-bye. Yeah, fuck that nigga. I ain't got no words for his bitch ass. Like, for real. Like, that shit's crazy. I first off, I don't understand racist people, of course. I don't understand any of the type of people who just start spewing hatred like that. But one thing that I don't understand is, like, dumb racist people. You know? It's like, yo. Like, stop talking. Stop talking. Stop. Just stop talking, please. Just get your talking privileges taken away. Like, put a muzzle on that. I can't. Rest in peace to all the people who lost their lives. And my heart goes out to the families. This is fucking disgusting. Like real shit. Like, I can't. I ain't got no. I got no sympathy for evil. Still kind of sad that they let him go to jail, and he's still complaining. Bitch ass boy. This is a bitch ass boy. Fuck that nigga. Damn, bro. Like, what the fuck? Like, oh my. I ain't got no words to say, bro. I hope you guys have a good day. This just pissed me off. This just